It's coming up next.
This building holds just north of 80,000, and they have come out in very good numbers today at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the Houston Texans. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Washington team as they interplay here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column. Something's
got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in week 3. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading him out, the former Stanford man. At quarterback, it's Davis Mills.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Off the play fake, Mills. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. And a fair catch taken here right at about the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. Leading him out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers. Because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win? And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. handoff to Barkley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Out of the gun, Watson.
And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Watson off play action. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Jonathan Grenard. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
To try again after the sack. Under pressure, they got him again. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Watson now to throw. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Now on comes the Washington field goal unit. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And it's 3-0 Washington. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was hoping for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
Have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. Play action now. Mills. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A big connection on that one. 35 yards.
That's a well-thrown ball right there. This is where arm strength pays off because he's got to be able to get the ball both downfield and to the sideline. And that's one of the more difficult throws for a quarterback. And he put it right where it needed to be.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mills. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. And Oliver able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long.
3rd and long for Mills. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Von Miller, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Here's Watson. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Watson. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Well, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Watson looks to throw again. He'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Faking the give. Now Watson. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. To throw is Watson. And Ingram hauls it in. And he will have a 1st down as they get into the ground at the 37.
They've been moving the ball well, but this drive was in danger of stalling out. Fortunately, this is a nice throw here, and they're able to pick up a new set of downs.
On 1st down, Watson. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set them back on 2nd.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. From the gun, here's Watson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Third and long, it's Watson. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A big play that time through the air. 34 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. From the red zone now, Watson.
That one almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be 2nd down.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To the air yet again, Watson. Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
17, guys. Check him out. He's going to sit right over the
Back to throw, Watson.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down.
Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Jonathan Allen. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
He sets to fire deep, and that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. 6-0 our score after one. Texans football to start quarter 2. Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45.
So here's Washington now to take over.
They're on top here as they come up on a 1st and 10, trying to make amends for that lost week at the hands of Seattle. Watson. This is the tight end fan. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. On 2nd down now, Barkley. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. And now, hold on here, we've got an injury. Well, that's Davante Adams, the wide receiver down on the ground here. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Washington on 3rd down.
They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And Barkley did not get there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away.
Desmond King back deep. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And this defense, they came prepared. He's probably going to be seeing them in his sleep if they don't fix things quickly.
And that's not exactly what he wants to see in his post-game slumber. So they've got to figure out a way to slow things down a little bit. Some screen passes, some draws, anything to make the defensive front hesitate a little bit. Think on their way back to the quarterback, maybe even a quarterback draw, some type of tendency breaker to change things up.
Exactly. Whatever the case, something to mix it up here. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
On play action, Mills.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The Texans on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7.
On 3rd down, here's Mills.
He gets it to Cooks.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, Mills.
Oh, now a strip. He loses the football.
That's how we do it, baby.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long.
Working out of the gun, Mills.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Mills from the gun on 3rd down.
And the throw there going to be incomplete. Here's Sam Martin now, standing just about on his own goal line. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, Not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. On first down, Barkley. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Out of the gun, Watson.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Watson, left side here. That's the tight end Fant. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Now it's Watson.
Going right back to Fant.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
It's a 47-yard field goal try from here, but instead they're going to opt to go for it on 4th down. They'll run for it with Barkley. Shifts by him, and he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Snap for Watson. Find Ingram. 3 yards the gain there, second down. Here's Watson. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? Looking to throw. Watson. And that will be incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on 3rd down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
And his kick is indeed good. And that will make our score 9-0. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And I never played quarterback, but I'm thinking as a quarterback, you're a little bit into the game now. Second quarter, you're losing. You're not playing well. Probably feels like a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Certainly does, but it's something that quarterbacks have to be used to because they're always carrying around that weight. So how do they adjust the weight? How do they make it work for them? How do they work against it? That's what we're going to find out going forward.
Yeah, they'll be trying to get all that weight off his shoulders here on this drive. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
On 2nd down, Mills again. The throw complete to the tight end, Tonyan.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
First down, Mills.
And that is incomplete. But the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is third down and 12.
From the shotgun, it's Mills.
He's letting it fly for Cooks. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prole spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Washington on third down.
They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is third and 9. Here's a give to Barkley. And they're going to get the first down here as he's up to the 14.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football. Caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
So still backed up, but the situation not as dire now. First and 10 at the 14. They'll try the air now with Watson. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. They'll run on first down. Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on second and 10. Watson now to throw.
It's caught by Fant toward the sideline.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Well, they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
On first down, Watson. And that is incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10. Again, it's Watson. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with third and 11. And that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Here's Tressway now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10.
The Texans with the football here late in this first half. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Mills on 1st down. This one complete to Tonyan underneath.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw again on 2nd down.
Mills. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40.
Here we go.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Mills throw complete here on target to Tonyan. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Again, it's Mills.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This will be from 56 yards out. And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. They begin with a run by Barkley.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. So that would have been something from that distance, but to no avail. Comes up empty as we have reached the intermission.
As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Time to give you folks at home a look around the NFL on this first official weekend of fall. So let's get to it. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And in the second quarter, it is the Eagles who are out in front. Jalen Hurts has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's get down to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. Odell Beckham, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Amari Cooper, a touchdown reception. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for the Texans in that first half. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Meanwhile, for Washington, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. Deshaun Watson making his way back out. The focus of our players' spotlight.
He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Ross Blacklock coming right up the gut. Gets in there for a loss of 9. I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the third quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get him going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the second half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game.
Another try after the first down sack. Watson. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half.
Now they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
From the gun, here's Mills. He's got Tonyan complete over the middle. And the Texans are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3. Second and goal from the 1.
Here's Mills.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans.
Robert Tonyan.
His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And they're back within a couple at 9-7 now. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. No return here for Clay Brooks, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Washington offense set to take over. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
He gets this to Davante Adams.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. On first down, Barkley. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
On the slant, it's Fant.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. Here's Watson. Gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Watson. He'll get this out to Barkley complete. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. To throw again on 2nd down, Watson. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. A bullet throw, but incomplete. So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will push the lead up to 12-7.
So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the 2nd half and take over.
Taking it about the 1. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. Well, the football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll run on 1st down. Humphrey. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Throwing, Mills.
And Cooks has it over the middle.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Let's go.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Mills now looks to throw on 1st down. Got a man. It's Collins complete.
And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
A couple of 1st downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
They go play action. Mills. He's got it to Collins complete.
And he's got this down to the 35.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Now a give right side. Humphrey. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. They're having issues right now getting that running game going.
I wonder if maybe adopting some of the college run game would help here. Because we're still at that stage where you have a bunch of guys saying, I don't know about what the colleges do. And the college stuff is working in the NFL. Bigger line splits, create some more natural running lanes. Might help the offensive linemen get better angles in their blocking schemes.
Play fake. Mills. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Ed Oliver in there to get is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And that takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
The throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And in the early going, the running game, as we see the numbers, it just wasn't on point. Well, now it's gotten more true to form.
And sometimes it takes a little while for an offensive line to get in sync. Because early in the game, defenses throw different patterns at you, different formations, different sets. And you might not block them quite the way you want to. But as you start to get into a groove and you figure out what they're doing, now it all comes together, and that's what we're seeing right now.
60 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
Now a 1st down throw, Watson.
Throw left side complete to Chase.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. A shotgun snap for Watson.
This is the tight end Fant. 7 yards the pickup there.
On 2nd down, Barkley. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. Again, it's Barkley. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. They'll try and run for it. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. Saquon Barkley denied on 4th down. And this Texans defense stands tall.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. A 1st down throw for Mills.
He gets it to Cooks.
7 yards the pickup there.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
They'll try the left side. Humphrey. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Mills on 1st down.
Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the 1st row.
On 2nd and 10, Mills nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And it's Washington that scoops it up.
And he gets it back into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery leading to a Washington touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Now for the point after. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
First down, Mills.
He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure they only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. The Texans on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Mills from the gun on third down.
He's going to loft this one deep left sideline.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Faking the give. Now Watson. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
After the sack on 1st down, Watson, they'll set up the screen to Barkley. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon. But with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And that will come the offense as they take over. And here comes the Texans now. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. On 1st and 10, Mills. Cooks on the quick slant. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up. They've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? From the shotgun, it's Mills. There again is Cooks, complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
From the 39, Mills. That's complete. It's Collins. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. On first down, Humphrey. Now, after that last running play, we've got an offensive lineman down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
Second and 9. Mills.
And he's got his man in stride, complete.
And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 39.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup.
In Washington territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Mills now. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home.
Jonathan Allen. What an effort from him on that play. Big tackle for a loss of 11. And he's on the heels of winning the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award. He had a pair of sacks in last week's game, Charles.
So much for adjusting, so much for game planning, right? You know that he had the 2 sacks last week. Why aren't you able to block him? Sometimes the superior athlete just wins.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's second and 21.
From the gun, here's Mills.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Von Miller able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. 7th play of this drive coming up, and a long way to go on third down. And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag. So that one will be accepted. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Here's Mills. And that's taken in. It's B.C. Johnson.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
Now the red challenge flag makes an appearance as Andy Reid wants a second opinion. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
From the end zone, Watson. And Watson's going to go down in the end zone. It's a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. That's taken on the 25.
Houston's offense taking over again.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Mills now looks to throw on first down. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Jonathan Allen able to record his 5th sack of the season. Found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Mills throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
On 3rd down, here's Mills.
He wants it all for the end zone. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston.
B.C. Johnson.
56 yards.
And the Texans have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And I tell you, from our broadcast booth, because we're pretty close to the 50, we had the best view, a bird's-eye view of that throw, and it was an absolute thing of beauty to watch. Never ceases to amaze me, the arm strength of these guys.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Clay Brooks to return it. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Washington offense set to take over again. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
From the gun, here's Watson. It's caught here by Adams. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Watson. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. On second down now, Barkley. Now Barkley stripped of the football, and the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
run on first down. Humphrey, and he is met quickly. Backfield, down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Throwing, Mills. Got a man. It's Collins, complete.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
For many people, that's not your standard play call in that 3rd down situation. But for so many offenses, they just want the ball in the hands of their playmakers in open space. And after he caught it, he did a nice job picking up the first down.
Now Mills.
Looking sideline, incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Well, that play really didn't fool them. They completed the screen pass, but for lost yardage, a really nice play by the defense.
From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt. Certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down.
And they'll throw again. Here's Mills.
Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And out of bounds right around the 20. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Right hash, 37-yard attempt.
Blankenship's kick is good.
And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So he exercises a few demons by getting that one to go, but tie game, so those 2 misses could still loom large.
They'll probably hang over him the rest of the way, you have to think. But now you get a fresh start. All even. Time for that defense to rise up and get the ball back.
Clay Brooks to return it. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
And now trotting back out with the rest of his offensive mates, the big tight end. So after he looked really good early, they haven't been able to find the big tight end as much. What gives?
Well, sometimes that's not in the game plan defensively. They're trying to take away other people, or they weren't expecting him to get off to such a hot start. But now, they know he's out there. They've made a few adjustments, surrounded with a few more people, a few different coverages. Let's see if he makes the adjustments now. Does he change up a few things to try and work his way open?
On 2nd down, Barkley. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
70 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. On 1st down, it's Watson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Ross Blacklock picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. Now Watson. This one goes out wide for Barkley.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here's Tressway now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
Houston set to take over.
They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Jonathan Allen in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Then he'll give it here to his running back.
Oh, an excellent tackle there as they keep him inbounds and hold him to no gain.
No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Clay Brooks to return it. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Now we get another look at Washington on offense.
They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they've run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley, and he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Watson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. He did not have a catch to that moment. Pretty good time for his first one, though, here in OT.
I would agree with that. And just think about how they had to cycle through all the play sheets, right? Tried to find ways to get a lot of people the football. In this case, as you said, he hadn't had a catch all game. Now they find him in a key moment. Really well done.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Barkley, and very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially an overtime win. That can give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward. And it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off, but in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
Well, I know you're toward the middle of the field here, but still, 4th down this distance, you got to punt it, right?
That's definitely the first instinct because you say, okay, let's just play some field position, make sure we don't lose the game here, turn it over in a key spot. But if you feel really good about your trigger guy, if you feel great about him, you might want to leave the ball in his hands and let him work his magic.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Part 1 is done, now part 2. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A first down throw for Mills. The throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And the ball is knocked out. And it's Washington that scoops it up. Dances by him. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. And a costly mistake. Coaches talk so much about ball security, and in overtime, so paramount.
Barton, do you ever wonder if maybe they talk about it too much?
Too much, yeah.
Doesn't seem like you can, but maybe by discussing it time and time again, and you know they overemphasized it here, it almost became self-fulfilling.
And any points beat them here. Field goal or a touchdown now. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
And they've just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. On the draw, this is Barkley. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. Oh, that heart has to be pounding inside the chest of Joey Sly. This to win it in overtime. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. Oh, that heart has to be pounding inside the chest of Joey Sly. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And with it, they have taken the lead. So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy. And they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Washington, they get back in the win column as